Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the best marketer of all?
You, my dear, are good, we know. But we're not talking about you on the show.
Step inside the marketing mirror to uncover marketing secrets, discover gems, tactics, lessons, and campaigns you can use. Next gen or fundamentals. Grab the marketing magic to improve your marketing and win more business. Only on 100 TV. Only on 100 TV.
Last week on the Marketing Mirror, Sue Ann began a little journey into social media marketing to help you understand it better and to determine where social media fits into your larger marketing strategy. You don't have to do social media marketing, but it certainly serves multiple purposes for building out your digital footprint, from brand awareness and recognition to landing new business. Applying a foundational marketing spin to your social media marketing as well, by taking an audience-first approach to social sharing, is imperative. But let's find out more about how to leverage social media to enhance your digital presence and grow your business. Organic social media is a great way to spotlight your business and send traffic to your website. For first steps, Sue Ann suggests you frame your social by dividing what you share on your platforms into 3 buckets, described as the 3 C's of marketing for creation, curation, and communication. Further, she shared a ton of statistics to demonstrate the prevalence of social media in today's cultural and business landscape, explaining why social media channels and platforms may be a fantabulous way to grow your business, reputation, trust, and sales. She also gave you ideas for things to keep in the back of your mind to create content that not only serves your audience and their specific needs, but also weaves business goals and objectives into your social content mix for a more strategic approach. And of the 3 areas Sue Ann wants to review with you for a personalized and original content plan and strategy for using social media marketing. So far, she gave you just a higher-level view of information for your thoughtful consideration and a few important things to keep in mind. The buyer journey, marketing formula, and social listening were a few of the topics. Finally, Sue Ann shares her plan for the Marketing Mirror, which embraces Ann Handley's advice to slow down your marketing to speed it up and also to get better results by taking a thoughtful and thorough approach. And you know what? This applies to your social media marketing management as well. But first, let's check back in with the marketing wizard and see more of what he has to say about social media. Let's go. Oh, and thanks for watching or listening to the Marketing Mirror by Sue Ann of Right Mix for Business.
Hello and welcome. I'm Sue Ann with Right Mix for Business, and I want to welcome you to the Marketing Mirror because everything you do reflects your business and brand. And today I want to take you into the Marketing Mirror a little bit of a different way, because even if you're a seasoned social media professional, even if you're a digital marketer extraordinaire, and even if you've been doing business in the digital space for a long time, you might feel a little skeptical and a little bit questioning about where social media is going, how social media is working, and what you should be doing, if it's even worthy to spend time and effort in social media today for your business, for your brand. And I, as I mentioned in the last episode, feel like social media marketing is still very relevant for expanding your digital footprint, growing your reputation, your authority, trust in your business, and so many things. So I feel that social media marketing is indeed an essential part of adding that flame, that fuel to your content marketing fire. And so I urge you to embrace social media, look at how social media is working currently, which isn't maybe the same as it has been working, but it's still workable. And so what I want you to do is reframe your thinking once again and figure out, how can social media marketing best help my business? What can I independently, exclusively, originally on my own do to enhance my social media marketing presence and my ability to gain new interest in my business and services through social media. And so let's go ahead and meet up again with that wizard inside the marketing mirror and find out what some of the gripes are that people are saying out there in the world. And let's hear what he has to say. And then let's talk about them a little bit. So before I get into the next section of social media marketing, which is how to find your audience and decide on where your audience hangs out, your audience and platforms, that perfect mix. Before we go there, let's do a little myth busting in today's episode. And let's talk about how to reframe your thinking and how to best optimize and leverage social media marketing for your business. Nobody else's, just for you.
A few topics for social media myth busting. Everyone's leaving social media. Social is a cesspool. Organic social media doesn't work anymore. Facebook is done. Twitter is done. Is YouTube a social channel? I have to be on every social platform or channel. I have to post every day. No one really gets business from social media.
So where should we start? There's a lot of myths out there about a lot of things and what you should be doing when it comes to social media. And let's start with Facebook, because that's possibly everybody's favorite number one platform to hate. And yet it has 2.9 billion monthly users. So there are some nearly 3 billion people or around that number who like and use the social media network and platform, making Facebook number one still as the number one used social media platform. So love it or hate it, it's populated, it's active, it's got a lot of things going on, including 200 million businesses are on Facebook. That might tell you something right there. You know how when you do your competitive research and you are looking to see if your business idea or market is viable and you want a popular market because you want there to be a market? Well, this is an example of that. 200 million businesses aren't on Facebook because it's not working and not working well for many of them. So think about how you can leverage Facebook. And the other thing that you often hear about Facebook regards the algorithm. So I'm going to let my friend Eddie, my friend and colleague Eddie Garrison with Clover Media, explain to you a little bit about the social media platform's algorithm. Because believe it or not, I know we all think it's true. I know I do. But the algorithm isn't out to get you. It's based on data points. So let's listen to what Eddie has to say to knock that myth over. Take it away, Eddie.
I'm sure you've heard the term algorithm a lot when you're talking about Facebook, but do you really know or even understand how the Facebook algorithm actually works? Well, truthfully, even when the algorithm does change, it's not all that much. Nothing that would cause some major paradigm shift in how the function works anyway. So let's dive into exactly how the Facebook algorithm works. Now, whether you love it or hate it, you've got to understand it to be successful in marketing your business on the world's largest social media platform. You want it to know that your content is valuable, authentic, and worth serving up to your followers. So what exactly is the Facebook algorithm anyway? Well, it determines which posts people see every time they check their Facebook feed and in what order those posts actually show up. Essentially, the Facebook algorithm evaluates every post. It scores those posts with ranking signals and then arranges them in descending, non-chronological order of interest for each individual user. This process happens every time a user refreshes their Facebook feed. It's basically a mathematical equation that feeds off data points. Those data points come in the form of engagements from your audience. Now, how does Facebook determine what they show users in their feed? This is basically done in 3 steps. The algorithm figures out what content might be shown to users by using 3 main ranking signals: who posted it, type of content, and interactions with that post. Now, each post is ranked based on these 3 main ranking signals to determine where it appears in the user's feed. With who posted it, you're more likely to see content from sources you interact with, including friends and businesses. Type of content means if you most often interact with video, you'll see more video. If you engage with photos, you'll see more photos. And you kind of get the idea here. And interactions with the post means Facebook will prioritize posts with a lot of engagement, especially from people you interact with a lot on their platform. Now, we know the Facebook algorithm weighs certain engagements on your content differently, meaning one type of engagement is scored higher than the other. With this knowledge, you can actually attribute an actual score number to those types of engagements in order to arrive at a piece of content's overall score. Now, of course, Facebook doesn't disclose the actual score number their algorithm assigns. However, we do know the types of engagements that score higher than others. From this, we've seen the algorithm favor these types of ranking signals over all others. Now, those are going to be in order from highest to lowest. It goes shares, comments, and then likes. Now, this video is all about understanding how the algorithm works so you can learn what Facebook considers valuable for its users. You have to do the work to figure out how those overall principles apply to your specific audience. Then create content that will resonate with them and in turn send more ranking signals to the algorithm. Now, of course, when you're trying to bump up your engagement numbers, it can be really tempting to seek out complicated Facebook algorithm hacks. Trying to manipulate the algorithm to get more distribution than your content merits based on those ranking signals is a big no-no. Facebook considers this spam, so basically what I'm saying is don't do it. The message here is really pretty simple. Now that you understand how the Facebook algorithm works, work with the algorithm, not against it.
So thank you, Eddie Garrison. I appreciate that information. You are always on the social pulse, and I really like that. And that's actually where I met Eddie. He's part, as am I, of the Agora Pulse family. And as part of the Agora Pulse family, we have the benefit of ongoing world-class education and, really the latest and greatest in social media innovation and trends and tactics and campaign. Like, we have an inroad through Agora Pulse to stay on top. Eddie and I both are part of that, and I enjoy learning from Eddie, and I'm in a few groups that he's in where we exchange information and ideas concerning social and results. Because the thing that I love about Eddie, I feel like he and I are on the same plane, because we're not trying to give you like guru results or guru blueprints. We're actually trying to tell you what we find works in the real world with our real clients. And I know from my personal experience, I've worked with clients in so many like A to Z different types of industries. And I know Eddie does too, that kind of surprising how well it works, but in completely different ways for these different accounts. So it's really an original individual endeavor. But part of getting that endeavor together is figuring out the right platform for you. So don't write any of them off, whether you hate them for other reasons or not. And that's another thing I think I heard the wizard say, is that it's a cesspool and it's terrible on social for some people. Some people are so aggravated and upset with social, they have to turn it off. They can't take it anymore. I think social political discord. And I think that in a way, you have to consider how and why you're using social media and what you want to have as particularly part of your business feeds. So you want to tread lightly in some ways, because fighting is not getting you anywhere in a business. perspective for the most part. That's not to say that you shouldn't, disagree with trends or, have thought leadership that's against the flow, but it's to say that you should really think before you ink and be thoughtful about how you use social media and how you represent yourself online. Everything you do reflects your business and brand. Everything you say, write, your visuals, all are a direct reflection. Why not double check your work? Why not think twice about what you publish? Why not think about how you approach social media and how you handle it from a business perspective without getting, fired up and emotional over divisive issues? Because if you're there for business, that's should be your motivation. You can have a separate account. You can have a personal account for these more hot topics that may or may not make you happy to, fight about. What I think is what you put in, how you approach it, what you put out comes back to you. And I've been lucky, knock on wood, knock on lighting, knock on whatever. I've been very fortunate because I haven't had a whole lot of haters and scammers and mean people, but I don't think that I attract meanness because I'm not too mean, I guess. Anyway, I don't know. I try to be as honest as I can with the content, with my writing, with my research, and that's all I can do is the best I can do. And I think that's how we should all look at it. But anyway, that's how you should look at your social channels too, I think. Do the best you can do for what you're doing. And don't get all distracted and crazy with all the distraction and craziness. It's easy to do. And if you do want to partake in those kind of conversations, those heated, those divisive topics, which are important, and we do need to have social conversation, I just think that business social media accounts aren't the place for that conversation. But I think that that's something that we lost in the whole agenda or the whole idea of social media to begin with, was to have a place to have conversation. And also that's what your marketing, as we've been discussing, is doing. It's having a conversation with your community and with your clients and prospective clients and audience. And you have several audiences. So go at it gently and bring it back that same way. The opposite of garbage in, garbage out. Goodness in, goodness out. My thing is create with passion and market with love. And so I think if you kind of have something like that, that's kind of your values, that's behind your business, your brand, and your social media, I think you'll run into hopefully less haters. Let's hope so. Anyway, back to the agenda. I am going to go there. I'm going to talk about Twitter right now because I think that it's sweet to tweet, bringing business back to you. And in fact, I've gotten the majority of all my digital business originated somehow from Twitter and Twitter relationships. So even things that evolved from Twitter into, more of a relationship via Facebook or DM or LinkedIn, the initial contact or the contact that introduced the other contact, even if it was in another platform, still seems to originate Twitter, at least for me and my business. And maybe Twitter is my favorite because it's the first social media platform that I was dragged kicking and screaming, in fact, into. I was told that, I had to do it if I wanted to be a writer and make it, basically. And especially if I wanted to write in the digital space, which I thought I might. I was told that, for blog writing and article writing and website copy, promoting websites, that I had to be on Twitter. And so that's why I checked it out. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I was told just start pushing buttons. So that's what I'm going to tell you. Just start pushing buttons when it comes to your social media marketing effort. That's kind of the best way. And I know at first that seems crazy and scary because, you're going to blow something up or break it. That's what you think, but it's tougher to mess up than you think. So, test things. Try the buttons. But I think that also the big, brouhaha right now is concerning the ownership of Twitter. and the CEO of Twitter. And I'm not sure the last CEO is that great a guy. And if you think about the CEO of social platforms, you might find a lot of disappointment. For example, Zuckerberg started Facebook as a system to rate women, girls, whatever. And like, for me, that's not such a cool guy to begin with. And then, there's the data analytics scandals and there's political scandals. And I'm just not sure I can get behind him so far of what I know of Mark, of Zuck. But yet I love to be on Facebook because I find like-minded people. And my favorite thing on Facebook is groups where I learn and have discourse and discussion with other people in same topics. Can get in touch with people that, have the software that I use if I have questions or problems, or to learn things from them. So I'm in Facebook for me. I don't have to like the guy to use the platform. And I think that's part of the confusion right now. I think you have to consider the merits of the platform versus the owner of the platform. I mean, who can say that it's a good thing for a guy who owned one of the biggest empires in a way with Amazon buying the Washington Post? That seems like a little conflict of interest, media and business somehow. I mean, I don't know what I think about Elon, but I don't really consider him when I think about my Twitter game. So maybe that's a position that you should look at it from. It's not about the owner of the platform. It's about your ownership of the platform. In other words, what you put into it, what you have going on with it, what it's doing for you, your business, what friends you're making there. Because I can truly say I've made real friends I speak to, like, on face-to-face or on the phone through Twitter. I've gained, like I said, the majority of my clients through Twitter. I started out really liking Twitter at first because of the research capability of going on there and finding not just the topics that I was interested in or researching for work or writing, but because it had the most current of those topics. That's one of the things I like about Twitter and Elon taking over, even though, again, not making a comment about him in any way. Talking about the platform, one of the things that's happening that made the news, which if it made the news, if the news is talking about it, the mainstream media is talking about it, if people are talking about it in articles and on the web, all over the place, all of the time, then there must be some relevance to it right there, or nobody would care or talk about it. It wouldn't be making news. It wouldn't be part of news. And so the first thing that I liked about it was researching. The second thing was that news currency. And, it's been used to, in real time, save people's lives or find people in a crisis when everything was down. It was a way to connect in real time and let people know in real time about newsworthy things. And I think that's kind of how Twitter got picked up as being newsworthy, because the platform has so many possible use cases and functionality. And so it does have merit. And there's also probably, in my case, a little bit of that, what UK Chow talks about in gamification, about sunken cost, where, you put so much time and effort into building something on a platform or an app or software or something else that you're involved in life. You don't like it anymore, or you hate it, but you won't quit because you have so much invested. Except that I don't feel that way. I don't feel like that lost part. But for some people, that might be the case. For example, today on the news, on the regular mainstream news, they're talking about Twitter, Elon saying that, we're going to get rid of people who aren't using the platform. And as a power user, I would say I am of Twitter, as a faithful Twitterer, I would say that that's a good thing, not a bad thing, because you don't want people who aren't going to interact with you or engage with you or see anything you do. If they haven't been on the platform doing anything for a number of years, which is the criteria, you don't want them to be on your list of followers unless you're just looking to bump up and have fake numbers, which it's not about the numbers. Social media is not about the numbers. It's about, again, using the tech to dig down and find people and make those relationships that become business and become friendships and become collaborations and all the good stuff. And that's all the good stuff I've found doing social, being on social, and being part of social media. And I find it fascinating. I also find it like it is work. So if you're doing social media, time is not free. And so when people talk about organic social, to think free is actually incorrect. But it is not about it is. It's a balance of what you put in, but what you get out. And for me, who started a business online without telling anyone in the real world, in my real life, in my other business, that I started doing this and building a business completely through digital, and I'm going to credit social for most of it. For me, I think it works. I know it works. And I've seen it work for clients too. There's a thing called dark social where you can't measure everything. And Agora Paul studies this. I study it. I believe that that's a huge thing, a huge driver behind business that they don't even know that are another benefit of social. But what I'm saying about Twitter is that you should think about, as you should with Facebook or any of the major platforms or even minor platforms that you use or consider using, think about what's working for you. What does it do for you? What does it gain for you? What can you accomplish with it? Because I'm having fun, like learning about other people and finding out about their stuff that they share on Twitter too. And the discussions, the tweet chats, the Twitter chats, that's conversation. That's learning, in real time with others in your field. And that's a good thing to me. And again, they're also, as I said, always experimenting with new features. If we all only go on platforms with people who think exactly like we think, we're not going to grow, nor are we going to be inclusive, nor are we going to be a community that's beyond our local narrow-minded world. We're not going to be a world community at that point. We're going to be tight-knit, like-minded, divisive groups. We need to have discussion and discourse. We need to have a place that people can say whatever they like, right or wrong, because I don't have to agree with you to respect you enough to let you speak. It's just an interesting thing because Twitter is relevant or it wouldn't be on the news. It's relevant or it wouldn't be such a big deal that it's having issues. People would just dump it. But the fact that we're talking about it, the fact that there's things being done by management, like them or not, that might make it a more effective platform for you, because you don't want bots to be your followers. You don't want people who aren't getting on the platform. They aren't going to engage with you. I just think that the people that you want on social platforms are people that are also interacting with you. The two-way conversation only happens when you connect all the way. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of The Marketing Mirror. And next week, we'll dive into platforms and audiences for social media marketing. And while we're at it, we can tackle those last couple things, those social myths the marketing wizard threw out, and we didn't get to today. Things like, how often do I post? How many channels do I need? And how do I know what social platforms or network, or do I need a combo? What is my secret key? Find out next week. Tune in to The Marketing Mirror. Thank you.